This is Brisas Skatepark on the northwest side of Reno, Nevada. I hope the audio doesn't sound too bad. I forgot my AirPods. I'm gonna do a little skate park review and tour real quick. So this is the main little transition section in this park. There's no bowl or mini ramp. I mean, this is kind of a mini ramp. My biggest gripe, I guess, is this little bump in the middle. Like, I just feels unnecessary. If they would have just put the ramps closer together and made it just a normal mini ramp, you wouldn't need the bump. I guess the bump does provide something a little bit different. These quarter pipes are probably around 4.5 feet tall. I don't think they're quite 5, but they're a tiny bit taller than like a lot of mini ramps. They're not huge by any means. I just find the bump a little unnecessary. This little triple hip over here is pretty cool though. And the transition is really well done. It's not wonky. The coping sticks out the perfect amount. It's a tiny bit steep, but like, I'm not the biggest transition skater, but I actually have heard a lot of transition skaters say they like it, they like how this ramp is the tiniest bit steep. It's nothing crazy, but it's not like ultra mellow. But yeah, this little transition section. Flat ground at this park is good. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. There are these little cracks. You don't really feel them, but any skater knows like seeing a crack can kind of mess with your head a little bit. So 9 out of 10 on the flat ground. It's really smooth, really good, but there are these little cracks. Nothing major though. You see the skate park has kind of this lap style format, which does give it good flow. But I will say, if there is one person zooming around doing laps, it kind of makes it unskateable for other people. It can't, like, this park is a little bit small. As you see, this is the whole thing. It's really well built. But a lot of skaters here don't like that they wasted the space on this little rock patch right next to that little bank to bank gap and on the ledges. So it's just kind of, it wastes space. It's slightly dangerous. I know they did it for aesthetics, but look around us. We're in a beautiful location. We don't need these fugazi rocks to make it beautiful. This skate park's already beautiful because it's well made and it's in the mountains northwest of Reno. It's gorgeous here. We don't need, like, these rocks don't make it gorgeous. Got the little A-frame section here. Really well built. I personally think the rail's a little high, but you have the bump to get you there. I'm probably just not good enough to hit it right, so I'll admit that. Really good, mellow A-frame. I love this A-frame. It's really like long and mellow. It's not too steep or too short. I actually really like hitting this A-frame, just like doing some basic tricks over it. It's a little narrow with the box and the rail on either side of you. It's not the worst, but it's a little something to think about, like if you slip out. This little corner here on the other side of the A-frame is what really gives this park the little kind of race lap feel. You got this little speed bump into this little clamshell quarter pipe. It's good. It's fun to carve around. Sometimes I wish it was just kind of a flat quarter pipe instead of the clamshell, but I understand why they built it that way. But I personally, to get speed coming from this way, to get speed for the A-frame, you have to go down the bank, do the pump bump, go around. Like, it turns into a Hot Wheels track. If this was just like a 4-foot quarter straight wall that was facing the A-frame and maybe a little bit closer to it, I feel like you could just get, like, if you're just trying to get a trick on the A-frame, that might have been a little better setup. But like I said, I understand why they built it this way for the whole kind of lap design flow of this park. I get it. Over here we got hip paradise. Got this one, and I like these hips because they look, there's 3 hips, 1, 2, 3. And while they look very similar, and they are very similar, some subtle differences. This hip is slightly steeper than this hip. This is the most mellow hip. It's very fun. You see there's different sides, different ways to hit it. There's the bump to bar, bump to ledge, down rail. Goes into this quarter pipe's pretty big. I think it's about 6 foot, 5.5 feet. But really well built, perfect transition, perfect steepness. coping sticks out the perfect amount. They actually, like, the reason why I love this skate park, and I'd say it's probably the best in Reno, if not second best, is just all the obstacles are really well proportioned. The ground's really smooth. There's nothing wonky. There's no banks that are too steep. Like, everything makes sense. Everything feels good to skate. Really well dimensioned. In the middle here, we got the little street plaza section. Really good ledges. Let's see here. Ledge is below knee height. Really good ledges, not too short to where it's a curb, but not crazy tall, long enough to hold your tricks. Got back-to-back ledges so you could hit lines. Got the little sushi dish, little obstacle. It's fun to grind. It's always a debate over like the manual skaters don't want the top wax, which is understandable, but then the people that skate it more like a ledge and no slide it and board slide it and lip slide it and things want to wax the top. So it's gonna be kind of a controversial obstacle depending on how you want to skate it. Really good flat bar, round flat bar, lower than some flat bars, which I personally like. I think it's beginner friendly, but it's not like insanely low. Really well built. Really, you know, it's not the longest flat bar in the world, but long enough, definitely. They said well built, no complaints, pretty standard. Another little downside is lots of pebbles on this park. Spent the past couple of minutes kicking some around, so watch out if you're the first one to hear like I am. As you see, the park is surrounded by these gravels and rocks, which I get it, Nevada, kind of in the desert, like, but I always hate when there's rocks and gravel surrounding skate parks, because they 1000%, without a doubt, 100% of the time make their way into the skate park. One of the few knocks on this place. Then you get the quote-unquote big section. I get it, it's not street league big, but for most local Reno skaters, it's probably about as big as we need here. I mean, I'm sure somebody out there disagrees, but like I said, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little 5-stair. Little down rail on either side. Got the hubba / bump to box. Just some locals put this rock to air out over, fly out over. But yeah, that's the whole park. It's a little small, but everything's really well built. It's got a gorgeous view, and it's in a good neighborhood. Don't have to worry about really like anybody messing with your stuff or any kind of crime going on over here or anything. That's why I like this skate park. It's a nice mellow vibe. There's not like fights and homeless people and all that distracting stuff going on while you're trying to skate. But speaking of trying to skate, you see them clouds over there? I'm gonna try to get a session in before it starts raining. It's rained like 6 days in a row here in Reno. I'm over it. Las Brisas Skatepark, it's really fun to skate on the northwest side of town over here, just a little bit north of this Walmart. Let's get this session.